దేశంలో పెట్టుబడులకు 28 గేట్వేలు ఉన్నాయని, వాటిలో తెలంగాణే బెస్ట్ అని రాష్ట్ర పరిశ్రమలు, ఐటీ శాఖ మంత్రి కేటీఆర్ పేర్కొన్నారు. ఆఫీస్ స్పేస్ లీజుల్లో ఇప్పటికే బెంగళూరును దాటేసి హైదరాబాద్ దేశంలోనే మొదటి స్థానంలో నిలిచిందని తెలిపారు. మౌలిక సదుపాయాల అభివృద్ధి, పెట్టుబడుల అనుకూల వాతావరణం సృష్టించడం, వ్యాపార అనుకూల విధానాలను నిరంతరం కొనసాగించడం వల్లే ఇది సాధ్యమైందని ఆయన అన్నారు. పారిశ్రామికవేత్తలే తెలంగాణకు అసలైన అంబాసిడర్లని గచ్చిబౌలిలోని ఇండియన్ స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ బిజినెస్ లో సీనియర్ ఐఎఫ్ఎస్ అధికారులతో నిర్వహించిన ముఖాముఖిలో మంత్రి కేటీఆర్ పేర్కొన్నారు. ఈ సందర్భంగా కేటీఆర్ మాట్లాడుతూ ఒకే ప్రాంతానికి కంపెనీలు పరిమితం కాకుండా హైదరాబాద్ నలువైపులా అభివృద్ధి జరగాలన్నదే తమ లక్ష్యమని చెప్పారు. నగరంలో వ్యాపార అభివృద్ధికి ఉన్న అనుకూలతలను, వేగవంతంగా సాగుతున్న అభివృద్ధి కారణంగా హాంకాంగ్, సింగపూర్ వంటి ప్రపంచ స్థాయి నగరాలతోనే హైదరాబాద్ కు పోటీ అని కేటీఆర్ స్పష్టం చేశారు.
Came together, created this brilliant institution. Now it is in fact ranked above most of our IIMs. In fact, it is ranked among one of the best business schools in the world. So I have to tell you that you've chosen to spend your time wisely. Firstly, secondly, let me also quickly point out we're a new state in India. We are the newest, youngest state in India. We were formed about 8 years ago on the 14th in 2014 on the 2nd of June. I'm sure you're all familiar with the process of formation of new states. So this state came about, in fact, after a protracted struggle for decades. In our country, since I'm speaking off the record, I hope I'm not. In our country, of course, as you know, there isn't any scientific rationale for the formation of new states. At one point of time, it was the linguistic basis. Later on, it became something else. But mostly, it's a political decision, the formation of a new state. So when the current Chief Minister, our Honorable Chief Minister, who was the then leader of the agitation for separate statehood, he always used to, basically mention three things. He used to say that once the state is formed, you will see that it is not only a self-sufficient state, it would be a surplus state. It would continue to excel on numerous fronts, including development, welfare, etc. So in the last 8 years, in fact, we'll be completing 8 on the 2nd of June, about a couple of months from now, or a month from now, in fact, or less than a month rather. What has Telangana done? If I have to put it in a nutshell and tell you what we've done, I'd say three things. I'll tell you three statistics, that kind of tell a story by themselves. The per capita of Telangana in 2014 was 1,24,000 rupees. Today, 7 years later, it is 2,78,000 rupees. So a whopping increase of almost 128%. The GSDP of Telangana back in 2014 was 5,06,000 crores. Today it is 11.55 lakh crores. Telangana is geographically 11th largest in the country. We are 12th largest in India in terms of population, but we are the 4th largest contributor to India's economy. In fact, this is not my numbers, my statistics. These are statistics issued by Reserve Bank of India, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and another statistic that will kind of tell you how well Telangana has done. We are only 2.5% of India in terms of population, but our contribution to India's GDP is 5%. We're literally punching double our weight. That's what Telangana has done. Now, how did this happen? What has Telangana done differently? Some things that we have done have never been done in India, in independent India. 75 years of independence is what it would be the 15th of this August, as all of us are aware. Some things that we have done have never been done. We talk about Chinese execution. We talk about how well China has executed, how quickly have they done their infrastructure projects, etc. In Telangana, I don't know how many of you are aware, since you represent India abroad across the world, I would like to point this out to you. If you please pull out your phone and type in the Google, please sir, if you can. World's largest lift irrigation project. Well, this gentleman doesn't like to type. He actually wants to speak to his phone. It's the 5th largest city in India in terms of population. It's one of the most progressive cities. In fact, I keep telling people, Hyderabad is a little melting pot where the north of India meets the south of India, where biology meets technology, where life sciences marries data sciences. That is Hyderabad for you. Because if you look around, Hyderabad is, in fact, since we are still in the midst of a pandemic, I have to mention this to you. Hyderabad, in fact, is home. I don't know how many of you know this again, to 1/3 of human vaccine production. Globally, 27 billion vaccines are produced every year. 9 billion actually are produced from Hyderabad. So we are the vaccine capital not of India, but we are the vaccine capital of the world. And these are human vaccines I'm talking about. We have Sanofi, we have Bharat Biotech, we have Biological Advance, we have Indian Immunologicals, all of them producing 9 billion doses of vaccines every single year. We have traditionally been the bulk drugs and pharmaceuticals capital of India. We produce nearly 40% of India's pharmaceuticals. When President Trump picked up the phone and called Prime Minister Modi for hydroxychloroquine, it was Hyderabad that came to the rescue of India and also the rest of the world as well. So Hyderabad has been very, very strong by virtue of its legacy, by virtue of its ecosystem in terms of life sciences. Now, our government, under the leadership of our Chief Minister, in fact, is taking it a couple of notches higher. We are building the world's largest single pharma cluster in very close to the Hyderabad airport, about 28 kilometers south of it, in about 19,000 acres. It's the single largest pharma cluster in the world. We already have an environmental clearance, an en masse clearance, and we already have a demand that is more than the land we can actually offer. And it will be the world's single largest pharma cluster. We have done things on a scale. I just told you about the world's largest lift irrigation project. I'm going to mention to you about a bunch of other things that we have done, which make us truly proud. If you go around the city of Hyderabad today, you will see that some of the marquee names in information technology have made this their largest base. Amazon, is a company that is very, very well known. I'm sure most of you speak to Alexa at home. Amazon's world's largest campus is not in Seattle. It is in Hyderabad. And just to add to that list, marquee list, Google, Qualcomm, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Micron, all of their second largest base anywhere in the world outside of their headquarters is right here in Hyderabad. Novartis, again, second largest base outside of Basel, is in Hyderabad. Now, in case you're wondering, is this all low-end KPO, BPO kind of work? No. We are doing cutting-edge technology. In fact, Google Maps, the latest version was developed right here. Facebook's entire VR program was done here. And the list goes on. It's a huge. Micron is another very large chip-making company. Their second largest base in the world is here. Medtronic. I'm sure most of you are familiar about Medtronic. Medtronic's second largest base in the world is right here. So the list goes on. It's a huge, huge list of companies that we've been able to attract. How did this happen? Our Honorable Chief Minister has been leading from the front. A couple of you were asking me a while ago, what do you guys do in terms of a single window, ease of doing business, etc. In 2014 November, we came out with the first legislation in the new government of Telangana. It was called TS iPass. TS stands for Telangana State. iPass stands for Industrial Project Approval Self-Certification System. Any investor in Telangana, if you would like to set up a factory or an office, you actually don't need to speak to us. If you have a piece of land that you've allocated or that you've bought or has been allocated to you, you can hit the ground running. You can start construction of your factory on day one. You don't need any clearance from the state government or the municipality or the Gram Panchayati. And this is backed by statute. Just like how right to information is a right given to the citizen, just like how right to education is a right given to the citizen, just like how right to education is a right given to the children, the students, we have conferred a right on the investor. We said you can self-certify yourselves as being in compliance with the law of the land. And you can start construction on day one. No other state in India, and in fact when I was in US, I met with the chairman of KPMG and I was mentioning to him that no state in India will offer you this. He smiled and he said, no state in the United States also will. 24% of my investments today in the state of Telangana are repeat investments. Just to give you one example, there's a gentleman called Sandeep Somani, who used to be the president of FICCI in the past. He runs a company called HSIL, the Hindustan Sanitary Indware Limited. He had one factory in Telangana prior to the formation of the state. Now he has 8 factories in Telangana. He added 7 more. That goes to show you how much confidence an investor has in the state. When we started our journey as a new state, we were a power deficit state. We couldn't provide power. We had to have power outages, power holidays for industries, almost 2 or 3 days a week. Now we produce we provide not only quality power to the industry, we are the only state in India which provides 24/7 as well. We provide, of course, quality power to the domestic sector, industry, and also the farming sector. In the last 7 years, I mentioned to you, our GSDP has risen by a whopping 125%, from 5 lakh crores to 11.55 lakh crores. What is the most impressive facet about Telangana, if you ask me, is the holistic model of development. In Telangana, while you have all the marquee companies I mentioned have contributed growth, our IT exports were at 57,000 crores of rupees in 2014. Now, as of last year, May, they were at 1,45,000 crores. Simultaneously, while IT was growing, our agriculture activity has expanded by 119%. In fact, agriculture's contribution is from 16% to 21%. Industrialization has been rampant and very, very robust. Our environment, in fact, environment consciousness has ensured that our green cover in the state has risen also by 7.7%. In independent India, no state has been able to match this feat. We improved our green cover from 24% to 31.7% by planting 230 crore saplings over the last 7 years through a program called Harita Haram. Now, these are unique distinctions. While we continue to win accolades on the rural development, when Sansad Adarsh Gramin Yojana awards were declared recently by Government of India, the top 10 villages, all 10 are from Telangana. Out of the top 20, 19 are from Telangana, 1 from Gujarat. And when they declare awards for the best kept towns, of course, Indore and Mysore continue to, score a bit above us, but we won 12 awards. So a holistic model where rural development, urban development go hand in hand, where industry and environment go hand in hand, where IT and agriculture also go hand in hand. Now that is the model of Telangana for all of you. That is why in Telangana for all of you.